Liquid is a team that really belongs whether the top or if do they not. The question is, will we have the Liquid Tingles? Will Liquid have the Tingles as well? Or will Blackdragons fight for the top 6? Let's go to Chalet to find out.
And I mean, if you're thinking about whether or not you got to be on the Liquid side, I mean, to go back to the map that they mollywopped loud on like not even a week ago, you've even got me singing the praises of Liquid right now. That's how good things are looking at the moment.
Listen, Liquid and Chalet, as Leo so beautifully put, it's like bread and butter if you're French, or PB&J if you're an American.
What about if you're British?
So I was trying to think of something that could be quite good for that, but I didn't.
Bread and Marmite?
Nothing. Yeah, I was gonna say Marmite just because of the bit that we did a few weeks ago. But I mean, it's a love it or you hate it thing, so I don't know. Half of the people wouldn't be down for it. We'd have to reconvene. Maybe like gravy and chips or something along those lines. I think that could be quite like stereotypically
gravy and
British.
Chips?
Yeah, maybe.
What are you talking about?
So Fresh has actually just joined our call to agree with the gravy and chips com.
Okay, wait. Actually, hold on.
That's all the agreement that I need.
I do want to say this. I have seen that you guys will often put like curry sauce on your chips. That looks good.
So, yes, it is very good. But you got to be careful which one you get because some are super spicy, some are just tasty. There's different types of curry as well. That's always something that people overlook. You've got chip shop curry, which is very different to if you go to like a Chinese takeaway and get Chinese curry. Some chip shops will also do Chinese curry or give you the option of traditional. It's a minefield. You've got to know what you're after.
Well, speaking of minefields, Machina trying not to step the wrong way, playing inside a bar at the moment with players not only at the double window, but at the fireplace and the mudroom doors in front of him. Oh, no. He'll probably be going on a DoorDash to order from a chip shop right now because he's taken out early and has got time to burn on the cameras at the moment. Meanwhile, Rare with a Dokkaebi call will fly by the double door and rotate back to site up Solar. The entry for Liquid goes very well, very early.
Quite stereotypical of the games that we've had today. We've seen some very quick entries. Not always seeing the team that gets that opening kill being able to convert on it, though. And taking down Machina, well, what have you really got on yourself? I mean, Diaz, we need to have a conversation. Could you please come into my office? Close the door.
Diaz, I love you. I've been casting you since I was a high school graduate.
9 years old.
We didn't 9 years old. What are we doing? We didn't need to do that. We need to do all that. Hey, we don't always have good ideas. And you know what? Speaking of bad ideas, ooh. Miracle just caught holding that angle. My god, Ask is dominating the office back door. This is always the worry with Ask. Kind of a sleeper player when it comes to like the potential to take over games sometimes. Feels like when he's on one, especially on the defense, he is just this force of nature. And with the DMR in hand, Lenda's not careful. One DMR shot will be more than sufficient to take down the only remaining shield player for Team Liquid. Thankfully on the regress, Lenda will take him down. Oh my goodness, Rare trying to get a frag, hops into the Claymore instead. How about a 1v3 for Hornetau? She's looking to bounce back a little bit from these past couple stages, pushing forth, but Liquid have things under control and figured out. Aside from Ask's couple kills, that was around that Liquid seemed to have figured out from beginning to end.
Brilliant play there from Liquid. Did such a good job of not overreacting in the mid portion of the round. It was very clear what the intention was. It was a super straightforward take. Fireplace, library stairs, library itself, of course, Ivy, and then just dipping into piano, but only enough to ensure that the plant can go down. They put some really good pieces of utility out there. Nesk's Claymore. I mean, it's a Claymore on bathroom window. It's so straightforward. But how often do you see players allowed to jump out of that window for free? It does happen. So Liquid have set themselves up incredibly well there. And to be honest, they didn't really have too many other options. With Diaz losing his life on Nubalk, they had to try and make something work there. And you kind of got to feel sorry for Ask in some ways because he was able to get a couple of really peachy kills there. And I feel like his team just did a little bit too much. They tried a little bit too hard when they maybe could have just dug in a little bit deeper. But I guess that's the price you pay when you don't bring any significant denial and one of your operators just brings some trip mines that then spawn peaks and dies with straight away, and we didn't really see any of the Denari trip mines doing anything. So a bit of a strange sort of lineup choice, I think, from Blackdragons. And maybe we can say the same at the end of this round as well, because speaking of denial, it is in short supply.
Not just the electric, well, I always do this. Electric claws, yes, and the beat jammers. But not a whole lot of super effective denial aside from those electric claws, and the Maverick can cut through that pretty easily. Machina again going on this round. The desk mentioned that Machina has had a very dramatic and disappointing fall off compared to Stage 1, who I think a lot of us was one of our most exciting players to watch, and just unfortunately at the moment going through a bit of a rookie slump, as sometimes happens. But if he continues to be a pain point for Blackdragons, Liquid should be able to get a good advantage on the roam consistently if he wants to keep roaming in the way he is. Holding up top for the moment is it's a kitchen dining defense, but always some verticality involved. There's a defense spread over to mezzanine, and every position in between. Machina back to the site to join Rare, but a bit more of an evenly spread hold from the defense, I will say. While Diaz goes down off the back of that EE1D, Nesk thinking he's got something, but just exposes himself to the site, maybe not expecting that Machina was in there. Quite unfortunate. So maybe a little bit of extra foresight would have kept Nesk in the round. Now Liquid fighting from behind is one kill not good enough, especially as Rare decides to send Lenda out of the round.
Strange attack from Liquid, really. They've gone super horizontal here, and they've not really had too much of a way in. It's a good refrag from Dafo. But I do worry about their ability to affect onto the site, especially when Rare's hitting drive-bys like that with the SMG-11. I wouldn't put it past him to take Dafo out here as well. Hops over the stairs. Can get himself positioned on short, but that's where the majority of his team has perished. Be very ill-advised to continue to peek that angle. And whereas we saw Liquid set up exceptionally well in round number 1, look at the amount of utility that Dafo is just having to ignore or to continue to deal with. He's not going to get past Rare as he was thirsty for his 4th. Might have made a bold run out inside of round 1, but he has more than made up for it there in round 2.
4K, I believe, from Rare that round.
4K.
Well, 80% job from Rare in round 2. It's been a bit of an individual effort from Blackdragons so far, with Ask in the first and now Rare in the second. But as you said, Liquid going very horizontal. I think Nesk finding a gap that unfortunately even might have been there. But if he, I think, gives a bit more respect to the dining angle, aims that way instead of kitchen, maybe he gets that kill and can hop back out. Maybe he gets that kill, can then push for more. I think Ness getting a little tunnel vision on kitchen as a result, just falling. And keeping Blackdragons competitive. And around that scene, they were competitive from, again, beginning to end. Similar to how Liquid were in the first. Basement defense coming up will be more aggression. Seems to be kind of the name of the game so far. Blackdragons on every one of these sites, always making sure they're pushing a little bit out, whether toward mezzanine, or in that case, up in a master admin office. Now on basement, with a vigil in play. Rare clearly feeling confident after that 4K, but not running the boss G. And I guess we'll have to forgive him for that.
Such a waste. If you're feeling confident, you just hit 4 kills, break the boss G out. No one wants to see you hit a shot with a K1A.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not even a K1A hater. It's just like...
Ask isn't having any of it. He's
That's...
like, you're playing the K1A? Get out of here. Just watch the cameras. We've got a Valkyrie.
Actually, hold up. That's actually, I think, crazy bad luck. I think Ask was making head holes, and Rare literally walked beneath and got headshot.
That is very unlucky indeed. I think it's an advantage that Liquid will take right now, though. Not that they desperately need a huge advantage in this game, but they'll take anything that they can get. Ooh, Hornetower, you don't know how close you were. You're going to get pinned by 2 here if you're not careful.
He's going to get pushed by 1 to be sure. Oh no, Blackbeard with the diffuser. Can always get a little problematic. Ask gets 1. He's made up for the kill on Dafo. It's still an advantage for Liquid, though, and only Widen with the next 2. Bit of a strange round, all things considered, starting with that TK, and Liquid kind of getting a lot for very little. Ask now has to fall back, but Miracle and Ask are about as close to the polar opposite side of the site as you could get. Only if they were up on second floor would it be the complete opposite. You will start creeping back down, make some feet holes to try and win back a kill. Miracle doing the same thing, is you don't really have an option, or don't really have the option to just sit and wait on the site right now. Smoke creeping around the corner. Diaz playing flank watch, checked by Miracle. Ooh, and while he gets the kill, Diaz good for that trade. Now Ask forced to fall back in the 1v3.
Not an easy position for us to be in right now. Liquid, they have a couple of drones. They have a bit of utility that's going to help them here as well. And they also have a lot of time. They do need to be cautious not to squander that time, though. Lender needs to be the tip of the spear right now, gaining that information and that space. Capital Firebolts go in. I think Nesk thinks better of walking down, or Dafo, sorry, thinks better of walking down blue. Ask, honestly, not in a terrible spot. I'm a little bit worried about how this round's going to end, just mainly because it's Liquid. We need to see some good pinch potential coming out here now.
You see the Blackbird keep applying that pressure, but Maya, ooh. Definitely a moment things could get tricky, but Liquid's still generally well coordinated. Even though the IQ goes down, you have one attacker coming in through blue to facilitate that pinch. I just think the low ammo count with the TCSG would have done Ask in the end. Liquid convert that round as it's a very tit-for-tat game of Chalet so far. But Liquid coming out the better in rounds 1 and 3. For our next ban phase, before we get into that round, hopefully we don't see a team kill of any kind. Big shock. Blackbeard goes down as it's been a pretty routine pick by Liquid so far, and Lenda in particular in rounds 1 and 3. And it's a double shield ban for both.
Yeah, Blackbeard in a clash. Deimos as well getting... I like the Deimos ban against Liquid. They do run it a hell of a lot.
Don't want Maya with the Vendetta.
No.
Don't give him the Vendetta.
You don't want Nesk with it either. Like, you can kind of pick, you know?
Don't give Liquid the Vendetta.
So, I just love how the bans change the game so much, because Deimos is like, in my mind, still a relatively new operator. And you think about the amount of operators that are in the game, and then when a new one comes in that's worthy of being banned, it just opens the floodgates on all the old ones that used to be new that now can just be played for free. Liquid have got some great tools at their disposal, and they're going to start to flex that toolkit a little bit here in round 4. We've got the Monty. Not going to be as flexible maybe as the Blackbeard, but could arguably do a better job in certain situations. Dafo going to be playing on Grim as well. And for a Bar Games attack, you need things like a Grim. Maybe even need a Capital to try and clear that library portion out. If we look at where the attack is mounting its approach, it isn't towards the library side. I'm not sure what it is about Liquid and these sort of horizontal tendencies on the mid floor. It feels like that's what we might be going for again here. There could be a very narrow angle here. Rare is on one today.
Gonna be in a really interesting position. Rare tied with Ask for being, or right next to Ask being some of the top rated players for Blackdragons this stage, clearly showing why that is. Dafo just gets clotheslined. Losing those bees? Liquid aren't exactly long on, I would say, like, pressuring utility right now. They got some flashes and 4 sets of nades. If you want to stretch it, you could say the E1Ds, but now it's really the Monty that's going to be the brunt of it, or the bulk of it. And you've got to clear out, you know, a mezzanine shield, no library shield, but you don't have a Flores? You've only got the nades, and that shield's not exactly in an easy position to nade. Liquid not in a good spot.
No, it's going to be even more difficult with the magnets as well. Start looking at actual throwables that we've got, and we've got 1 Ash breaching round, 2 flashes, 2 nades. Not got a ton of burn. Hornet's still got a magnet in pocket as well. That's before you've even dealt with the laser gates. You can hear Nesk burning a flash on those laser gates now. Fortunately, running Striker, so does have a little bit more. But it's still going to need to be very well placed. And on a round and a site where usually a lot of the fight and control is for library, with Liquid only approaching this with 50 seconds left, it actually doesn't look great.
Okay, but Maya gets one. And that's often enough just to bail Liquid out. Lenda can push the second defender back too, so while Mezzanine's cleared, I think Liquid don't get as much as they would have liked. They only get the Warden. They still have 40 seconds to go. Ask still has all 3 smokes. You've got 4 impacts to do a decent bit of chip damage to Lenda. Liquid's still in a really rough spot, and you got to commend Blackdragons for getting out of there when they did. Losing Machina is kind of an acceptable loss. Liquid struggling to find a way in. Ooh, Ask. Losing a lot of HP. Lenda right in front of him. Blackdragons players starting to go down. But it's only alongside Liquid suffering losses as well. Miracle whiffing a lot of those shots. It's a bit chaotic and hectic, but Blackdragons keeping control of the fights just a bit more often than Liquid are. Neither team able to get a lead of longer than 1 round at a time.
You kind of wonder what would have happened inside of round 3 if Rare didn't die to the team kill links, because so far he has been such a big and influential player in these rounds that we've seen Blackdragons come away with. He's 8-2 right now.
Attackers have located a bomb.
That 2 4Ks?
Well, I mean, mathematically it's the equivalent of 2 4Ks, but...
Because he got a 4K in round 2. He died to a Claymore run out in round 1, and he got team killed in round 3. So yeah, it's 2 4Ks.
Oh my god, he did get another 4K. Jeez. I don't know why. I think it was just so chaotic. I think I just assumed the kills were more evenly distributed that round.
I think that maybe it was one that he got down that someone else finished off as well, which sort of confused the kill feed a little bit. But yeah, perhaps. 2 4Ks.
Well, we can give a lot of credit to Rare for this game so far. At the same time, Liquid haven't exactly looked super convincing, and this game is just, you know, being lost by Blackdragons in spite of Rare putting a great performance. I think Liquid have definitely been a bit slow on these attacks, especially now that the Blackbeard's been banned. The Monty not doing a great job at substituting. I think Liquid like a bit more of that aggressive shield play rather than kind of the slow pressure that's provided by the Monty. And now they fully rotated away from those shields, going to the Ying and the Grim combination. That'll be available to them for the rest of this half. But this site, if you want to, I suppose, kind of throw this second floor roam into chaos, those are perfectly good bits of utility to use.
Oh. You can hear the bees going out and a nice little hop in there. Ass taking a bit of damage, goes for a Hail Mary C4, but Rare's going to beat him to it.
Only gets one, though. Just the one. As Ask retaking the engagement loses his life. Lenda wrapping around the corner, looking to wield that bailiff to expert effect. But it does a lot less damage than you think. Not like those secondary shotguns. Hornet's able to tank it. Miracle able to push through it. Well, Daffo throws the last of his Candelas. Another C4 goes out in turn, and that momentum gathered by Liquid is now completely evaporated. Most problematically, diffuser in the hands of Blackdragons. Oh, but he spots the head. Just such a clean little cross by Daffo. Miracle in a 1v2. Some Zoto canisters, perhaps to slow the push. But he's got direct control of that diffuser. Pushes out, spots the Ying. Easy work with that DMR. Can back up and keep DS Lucas guessing on where he is. Spotted! Down goes Liquid in a clean 2v4 from Blackdragons.
Blackdragons are celebrating like they just won the whole game. It was a really nice clutch in a round that definitely hung in the balance, but there is a lot more work to do here inside of this fixture. Liquid just giving too many 1v1s. They had an advantage for a very brief time, but they just couldn't get a control of Miracle on that top floor. And as you mentioned, the diffuser falling. I don't know what it is about the kit, about the diffuser. It always just seems to fall in the worst place. It's like Murphy's Law. Every time.
Yeah, I don't know what it is today. It's been a running theme. Entertaining game so far, though. It's kind of like the NIP game. A lot of individual work at the moment from Black Dragons. What, 2 rare 4Ks, a Miracle, and who was it? Because it wasn't rare. He went down early. I think Miracle and Hornet, like 2v4.
Yeah. 1v1 for Miracle. We had a big round out. Well, I don't know. Ask hasn't had like a big impact round yet. He's gotten a couple of kills. I know he got a couple in the first round, which just, you know, it didn't net them around, so you can't really count them the same.
Actually, all of Ask's kills have been in the 2 rounds they've lost.
Yeah. That's okay.
We'll give him credit for it.
Oh, he's there for the mental, right?
Big dog.
It's a lot more even on the side of Liquid, though. Only Maya, shock horror, creeping ahead. One of the highest rated players in the world at the moment. His impact will be felt throughout the round, or throughout this game, should I say. Whereas you do worry about Black Dragons, is it going to be a bit more of a flash in the pan? Liquid do trail by a round at the moment, though, and on Chalet isn't the best place to be. You're expected to do well on your attacks here, especially with Shields and Deimos banned. Not really left with many excuses, but this lineup speaks of an execute. And for that top floor to not be bringing hard breach is a bit of a question mark. You've got to be wondering what exactly they're going to be going for. You've got Nesk on Sens, you've also got the Ying, so you've got 2 really big impact operators there. Provided Hornetow's in the right place and stays alive, by the way, it may be all right. A very cheeky attempt at a run out there from Makwina, easily punished by Maya as he can continue his rotation up these back blue stairs.
See that 6th sense creeping in from Maya as well. Ask waiting for the Dokkaebi to just sprint up headlong. He does so. Neither DMR player able to net that shot. Machina might be down. But in this 4v5, Liquid again starting to stall. They've used a lot of utility. 2 firebolts, a smoke bolt, almost all the ROU projectors. Half the Candela's gone. They only got 1 kill on a guy that ran outside the building. This utility, materially, has not gotten anything as a consequence of its use. Blocking off the bathroom runout is nice and good. We've still got Miracle close with a shotgun. We've got Ask who can play the long angle with a DMR. I mean, Miracle just swings, smokes Nesk off that angle. Piano completely retaken. Black Dragons completely in play and locked in. Liquid starting to really lose the plot on their attacks. 3 rounds in a row go to BD, and they win the half.
BD look like they're having a lot of fun with this game as well. That's always a really crucial part of any team's performance, especially when you're in the team house like that and you can bounce off each other. I'd love to spend 5 minutes in there with that sort of energy, because you just know that they are going to be having the best time right now. 4-2 lead at the half. And where Liquid have looked good, kind of feels a bit like a distant memory. Black Dragons have looked very solid. That last round in particular, aside from the run out from Makwina, which can be allowed at this stage, with hindsight, you know how the round has finished and you know how safe everybody else is going to play. Sure, give somebody a little bit more freedom and a bit more flexibility to play a little bit more aggressive like that. Black Dragons have put themselves in a very, very good position right now. But let's be honest, they do need it. Still a difficult game ahead, but they have surpassed their typical defender win rate, which is kind of sitting at a dismal 37%. I know it was a stat that was mentioned on the desk a little bit earlier on. They have overperformed on that defense side, and if the numbers are to be believed, their attacks are even better.
Now that Black Dragons have won the half, by the way, I think it's fair to kind of give a little bit of a summation of the current points of the standings. It's kind of a 3-way competition at the moment. Get to how that might change in a second. Between Black Dragons, ENX, and Los. See who can be the most competitive of the 6th place spot. Who might be the champion of the bottom 4. to go against Loud or Liquid for a spot in the playoffs. Black Dragons beat Liquid here, obviously. Black Dragons on 9, tied with Liquid and Loud for 9. That gets really problematic for, well, like, half the teams in the league. Los, who have been looking better, will not have gotten any points from today, and while they've looked competitive, we're still kind of waiting to see it completed. Loud, who are starting to kind of fall down a little bit, and this will be just another moment of Liquid inconsistency if Black Dragons are able to take the lead. So if Black Dragons are able to win today, they might play, you know, W7M and FaZe tomorrow, or in the next couple play days. But a win here makes things a lot more complicated. And if Los beats ENX in a couple days too, well, if either team, I suppose, gets the 3 points in there, again, we're going to have a stage where the next bottom section of the playoff standing is going to be really, really weird. Speaking of really, really weird, I don't know what the play was there.
No, I'm a little bit confused as well. It felt like he tried to open the castle barricade and just didn't have the right side of the launcher on. But Daffo was well far away from the concussive effect of any of those stuns, so kind of a freebie, and very telegraphed freebie at that. Black Dragon's definitely stalling out a little bit here at the halfway point. Deimos has been allowed through, as the shields have been banned instead by Liquid. Oh dear, Miracle had the diffuser as well?
No. Was that a misclick?
The diffuser just cold on the floor at the top of double window. Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Rare, you've had your moments on the defense. Now's time for the moments on the attack, and he's going to kick things off with a kill onto Maya, but instantly traded.
Can he pick back up, though? Oh, never mind. C4 puts Hornet to 1 and puts Rare in the dirt. Might be tagged low, but with that misplay early on, and now with this three-way crossfire, all right. All right. I don't know if, yeah, this certainly isn't happening. No, not with round. Hornet on 1 HP and a shotgun around the corner. Another close game again, but that round, I don't even know where you begin with it.
I think it's one to maybe forget as Black Dragons, at least till later, and they can go through the tape and rewind and figure out just exactly what went wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, not uncommon to attempt a bit of a fast plan on that big window. I mean, it is uncommon, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility, let's say that. But the way that kind of transpired, it didn't look like it was going to be an attempt at a fast plan. I think it was just Miracle trying to make something happen a little bit quicker than usual. But it didn't pan out, did it? And as soon as the diffuser's left there, Liquid know that. They can start to chill out a little bit, and they just know that they're playing TDM defense, essentially. There's no plant that is likely ever going to happen, and if it does, then they have messed up monumentally. Leaves the door open, though, for Liquid to narrow Black Dragon's lead by only 1 round now, as they move through onto Kitchen. Still, a defense of that top floor required.
5 seconds
Now,
left.
Lynx, I do remember a few things. I haven't got quite the level of mind palace that you have for the games. However, I distinctly remember Liquid playing a Solus on this very site, on Chalet, and playing for a little bit of denial, and then having a severe lack of holes open to play vertically. Solus indicates a retake. The castle indicates that you want to try and stay upstairs and you're going to be safe in your endeavors to retake. I just hope that Liquid have made sufficient vert on that top floor, because if they haven't, I will be a little bit upset.
And to Ollie's point, by the way, hold on. Wanted to give Nast the space to get that shot there. To Ollie's point, you might be thinking, okay, well, why the hell are we talking about that? Didn't they win 7-0? Yes, but the round we're talking about was a Maya 1v2. So. Also, the first one was a DS Lucas 3K. So. It's something that Liquid was a genuine problem, but one that they recovered from and mitigated by strong individual performance. So it is good to keep that in mind. As I'm looking at that Dine and Sealing right now, and it's looking real solid.
It's looking real complete. Yeah. And if big individual performance is what you're looking for, look toward the side of Black Dragons, because we haven't had it so far on the side of Liquid, which can be a good thing. Don't get me wrong. the desk, and we will often praise teams that have a good, well-rounded team performance. W7M got that treatment earlier on today. Nobody straying beyond, you know, the middle of the pack amount of kills, and that can be fine. But when it has been required to pick rounds up in the past on similar bomb sites with similar setups, I think Liquid can count their lucky stars that Blackdragons seem to be just hunting shadows right now. Well, the shadow will be found. They have spent a hell of a long time on a Scopos.
You do lose Maya, though, but they have spent a hell of a long time on a Scopos, and I think that's the headline right here. Only a minute left before they can start looking to getting a plant down. Kind of been a while, by the way, since we've seen a classic dining breach. These are outside a fireplace, so Ask will walk out like they try and recover it. Feels like you can just see Lenda in that position. Good shot by Nesk. Keeping the delay strong. Honestly, oh my god, what a crazy trade. We're also pushing deep on the top floor, but I think Liquid at this point have just kind of vacated. They've read that the take's mostly horizontal. They've established a lot of long angles. Wow, that is a crazy shot by Rare. And does he have the time to get more? Hornet's only got one Candela, but there's some smoke, some flashes. It's gonna be really difficult. It's gonna be tight, but maybe they can just make it work. Rare's been good so far with the SMG-12 on a long angle. Does he have it? They let Hornet get the diffuser down, and Rare gets the cover on the fall-off. The initial engagement doesn't work! Can this man be stopped? Rare can do it all on Chalet, and he's the only one keeping BD in the fight.
That's the third 4K that Rare has had here tonight. Like, incredible. He wasn't even looking the right way for half of that plank going down, and Liquid still let it happen. They're playing retake siege. The plant is not meant to work. Well, the plant is meant to work, but they're meant to be able to retake the plant. That's the whole point of playing for a retake.
Right.
Blackdragons in the nick of time.
Okay.
He's 15 and 4 links.
I've not done it once this stage so far. I'm pulling up the VAR.
Oh, you're pulling up the VAR. I thought you were going to make a funny joke.
No, I'm pulling up the VAR. It's not funny. It's
think
not
Liquid pulled up the VAR in the timeout?
I think if they had pulled up the VAR, they probably would have stood a better chance in that round. I'll tell you that much. But so where I really am curious is about the final 40 seconds of that round, because up until the final 40 seconds, Daffo is on the top floor, like he's there. And then they all fall back to Solar. That's where the castle's playing. You have Lenda inside of the site. But my question is, where the hell is Diaz? That was the guy... No. Because Daffodil's the one Rare kills. So, I have a few questions. One, when Rare takes control of the top floor, he's just walking through all of Office. Just walking through. Nobody's fighting him. Everybody's pulled back.
5 seconds left.
Most of the kills happen on the horizontal. Why did we all fall back?
Defuse a bomb.
Did we not think mounting a retake would be worthwhile? Castle Solus double retake to reestablish control of the vert? You had a 2v1 Rare.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Strange one. Real strange from Liquid. It stunned them into taking their tactical timeout. I think they recognize the balance of this game and where it currently sits. It isn't just the score that Blackdragons have the advantage in right now. They've got a player that is 15 and 4 that is consistently hitting multi-kills. And so far, I've not seen anyone from Liquid not only be able to stand up to them toe-to-toe in a gunfight, but as a team for them to have a strategy in dealing with it and making sure that that doesn't happen again. One player should not be allowed to be getting multiple kills like that. Trades, trades, trades. Work the number advantage. Just hope that Liquid can steady themselves after that tactical timeout.
Swapping.
Let's move to bar and games right now. And Liquid choosing a very loose lineup. Not often you're going to get the alibi and the mozzie in the same setup. You do wonder if you left yourself wanting for other things. Look toward that deployable shield and think, Whamai might be nice. Mirror can be a great shout. We've only got one C4. Some really good information right now. We might be about to see just how Black Dragons are doing this. As Nesk has been caught out entirely, and Makwina, he's on the chase.
They're on the chase, but it's a 1v1 against Nesk. Oh, but sees him. Oh, can't quite land the shots! These are why these 1v1s are always so precarious. It seems so simple. It's a Mozzie by himself. But you just see the back, and you don't get a better angle. And playing against Nesk, not only is he the only one positive for Liquid, but it's still Nesk. He's the kind of player who can land shots like that. They get him on the cutoff, though. Reloading. And that makes it worthwhile. Liquid make good on Machina's sacrifice and the damage he put into the Mozzie. But Black Dragon's looking a lot like Liquid right now. What's their way in? What's the win con? Ask has a diffuser in Mudroom. Where is he planting? Where is it going down from there? He's got to cross blue stairs where Maya is still playing. He is locked out of the site if that's where he's pushing. He's got to rotate. Or maybe apply some different pressure. Never mind, he gets the kill. I don't even know from where. But Diaz just hops up, takes down Miracle on the doorway while the other two attackers flood into bar. The fire finally reaches Diaz. Take him down. Hornet gets the right kill with only 3 seconds left. Smokes Daffo on the flick. Black Dragons are fired up. We got people standing up and the match ain't even over.
From the way that Black Dragons have been celebrating from the beginning, you can tell just exactly how much work they have put into this. They don't care that this is just a regular game in the stage. This is their grand final here tonight. They have hyped and built themselves up to such a level. I said it before. I'll say it. If they win, I would love to be in that room because it is going to be electric. Sometimes there's something that you can't get out of a stat line. You can't quantify it. It just comes through in the game. It's the energy and the passion of the players. And Black Dragons have got that in spades here tonight. Not only are they winning rounds that they should be winning, not only are they playing better than Liquid, but they're also winning the rounds that they shouldn't be winning. Like, they shouldn't be winning that previous round. There was no time. Final kill comes in red time. It was 2 versus 1. Like, there's a lot of things that are stacked up against them in that situation. Yet still, they are managing to pull it off. And it's brilliant to see.
Bomb located by attackers.
16-5. Just crazy. Just crazy watching this.
10 seconds left.
Even a big round from Hornet. That was a 3K. He got 60% of his kills in that
5
round.
seconds left.
Everyone from Black Dragons is getting in on the action.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a
And
bomb.
Liquid struggling for answers on a map where they had Loud's number from jump. From the get-go, they knew the perfect play. Here against Black Dragons, those answers that seemed so easy last time, they can't find the equivalent or the analog here. It's not like Black Dragons are playing perfect. You can clearly see that they won it. They won it more than anything. And it might just be a best of one on Playday 7, but it's a best of one that Black Dragons are not in a position to lose, at least for the next couple rounds. Master Bedroom Office defense from Team Liquid. Diaz on the vigil.
We are now protected.
He'll play the site.
We are protected.
Just deny some information, I suppose, but it seems as Black Dragons probe for info and probe for where to start. They're all spread out right now, keeping their options open.
I think, you know, you can't even characterize it as a stall now with what Black Dragons have been able to pull off. You've just got to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are setting themselves up. Ask. Look and see if you can punish any aggression. Miracle the same. It's a trademark skill of Liquid to get these outside to in kills on Chalet. It's what the best teams that attack Chalet do. They're able to do it consistently. Maya is in a tough old spot right now, being held from both sides.
Oh.
How the hell does Daffo get away with that one? He didn't take a point of damage.
Oh, but Ask gets Nest trying to jump out. Maya, good for the trade. Definitely take that. Good coordination by the Liquid players. It's not the glass falling. It's that position being removed. Daffo sends it out by Machina. Oh, gets the C4 in the process. Never mind! Some of the shots this game have been criminal, and Daffo doesn't want to stop there. Machina decides to hit the flat Stanley in front of a Vector, and Miracle elects to look the wrong way. Rare has given us 4K after 4K, but he's not given us a 1v4 in the process. A clean 20 kills. That's the number. That is the one he needs to win this game for Black Dragons at a 7-3 scoreline. But that's the problem with pick and ace. You got no flashes. You've got no smokes. You've got nothing that's going to make this a better advantage. It needs to be on gunplay and timing. Here's one close solar. Somebody far too. Rare might be good, but everyone gets hit by the shotgun just the same at close quarters. Nesk still feeling it. You can see the Liquid spirit still quite positive, and I think we give them credit for that. They got 2 more rounds to go before overtime.
I think Liquid are breathing a sigh of relief after that round, honestly. Good to see that they're still looking positive, though. Because as we've mentioned, this has been a very swingy game, and it has swung in the favor of Black Dragons and their individual prowess. The problem that Black Dragons have, potentially, is that due to the nature that has got them to this point, and that being Rare with some incredible performances, Miracle with some of his own, you know, you look at other contribution, Machina 2 and 10, Hornet 5 and 7, doesn't take much for a player to get taken out first blood. There's 20% chance that it's going to be you. So you're going to need to try and work around those numbers when the time comes. And because we've had such big individual performances on a couple of different players, it might not take much to dismantle Black Dragons right now for Liquid. And maybe that's something that they're mindful of. I certainly have done it. We've done it in the Ranky stack. It's very different, but it's a similar concept. One player's doing well. Don't worry, guys. One-man team this. Get him, you get the team. Just take Rare out, we'll win the game. No worries. Maybe that's the mindset that Liquid are rocking with right now. They're going to have to continue rocking with it and stay very strong over the course of the next 2 rounds, because they can't afford to make many, if any, mistakes here.
Way to make a mistake on this roam clear. Well, really not that many. As you can see, Liquid aren't, at least for the moment, don't seem to be stationed too heavily off-site, at least based on my vision. We got Nesk up top. No, actually we do. Nesk and Daffodil both up top, but very separate. Giving 1v1s to these players might be the main mistake. It doesn't seem Black Dragons even want to do that. Nest drops down within the first minute, has the hatch open in a mirror window too. He'll likely be here for the rest of the round. While Daffodil kind of creeps back up the top floor. Black Dragon's taking a while early on to figure out a plan of action, and I have to say, a little cause for concern, because there's nothing solid being grasped by Black Dragons at the moment.
We've seen them be quite slow on these attacks so far anyway. So to see them slow here, not uncharacteristic, but it's the way that the rounds have ended that worry me, because how consistently are they going to be able to pull this off? And that's the second time that Nesk has lurked in that position during the start of the round, and the second time that he has come off better despite information against him. Insane flicks from Nesk.
Ooh. Well, Hornet's good on the cutoff. Lenda and Daffo. Black Dragons are just feeding Liquid 1v1s. There's no coordination. There's absolutely zero thought going into these clears. The only thing you have is Hornet, who is holding that hatch for the entire round. Miracle gives a 1v1 to Nesk. Same thing done by Ask and Miracle, respectively. Or same thing done by Ask and Hornet, respectively. Now, Daffo holds the same position. Finally, there's a double swing by Blackdragons. Machina and Rare getting in on that one, but it's in a disadvantage. It's still a 2v3. They don't have Diffuser. They barely got time, whereas Liquid still has 2 toxic canisters to burn the burn time on the clock. Diaz with a C4, ripped, ready to go. Once anybody walks through that single door, we're breaching walls and we're in the red zone. We're not even close to getting a plant. Machina drops in the middle of a hellstorm. I'm not going to call it, but if we're going to get another attack like that, overtime might very well be in our future.
And the only thing that Blackdragons have got going for them at the minute is the fact that a couple of players have been hot during this game, and they need to try and leverage that before we get into an overtime. Because what we have seen when somebody isn't going crazy is that Blackdragons have got very little structure in the way that they're trying to attack these rounds. If they're not getting someone that's getting multi-kills, and by the way, Liquid, like, it's kind of your fault that you're in this position because you've just fed 1 or 2 players multiple different times. Now, this game could have been done and dusted. But Blackdragons have kept in it based on individual potential, individual performance, and that alone. Now Stundin's taking their tactical timeout, giving Liquid opportunity, by the way, to steady themselves ahead of the most important round of the game. You know something, Lynx?
What?
The tingles never lie. That's all I'm saying.
How am I supposed to take things seriously when you say things like that?
Listen, if you're not a believer, I don't know what to tell you. But this is going to OT.
This is what I mean, man. If you're not a believer, how am I supposed to believe? Like, this is, it's like every SSG stage condensed into a match-by-match basis. It's like, oh my god, they're the greatest team ever. Oh my god, they suck. Oh my god, they're the greatest team ever. Oh my god, they suck. And instead of like a tournament, it's played a 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Look, I don't make the rules. I just call it as I see it.
10 seconds to insertion.
How do you, what do you mean you see it? What do you
It's-
mean?
The writing's on the wall. We're going to overtime.
There is no wall. Shut up about the wall. Screw the wall.
We could write it on the inside of your eyelids, and then you can just see it when you close your eyes and blink.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I want to see. Liquid when I try to go to sleep. The anxiety will keep me up all night, and I already have enough problems sleeping.
You'll have to learn the Gandalf and sleep with your eyes open.
I will give you this, though. I will give you this. While Liquid remain inconsistent, they are certainly in this matchup. And there is a tingle creeping up my spine. I think the spines of Blackdragons because the cheers have gone quiet and the guns have fallen soft. And as I say that, Lenda downed, swinging west main window. Ask misses one of the nades. I think this is the second, too. I don't think that one's getting Lenda. No, it will not. So K might actually be able to crawl back into the site. What is Maya doing?
I do worry about Maya occasionally.
Why do you worry about Maya occasionally?
Well, sometimes I just worry that he's underrated. And he's going to get himself a kill and a down. Lender eventually gets finished off. But Maya might be lining himself up for another here.
See, writing's on the wall. Isn't it so easily predictable what's going to happen in these rounds?
Yeah.
How about this? Rare. Oh, no! Rare disrespecting the angle a little bit, getting lax on that upstairs clear, and now Miracle. In a 2 versus 3. Ask easily picked back up. And with the ROU projectors can block off some important angles. But Liquid have retaken control of the top floor. They've got 2 C4s to use. Diaz with 1 below and Daffo with 1 above. Nesk also helping the vertical angles. 1 will be spotted on West Main. Miracle going in for the clear. Blackdragons need to time this right. Diaz anticipates it. But Miracle gets that important kill. 55 seconds to work with, by the way.
A long
They
time.
got time to reset.
It's a really long time. And this site usually goes so well for Liquid. Psych. One thing that they do have going for him, Daffo does have a C4. There's plenty of drones available for Black Dragons now as well, but Nesk has just been caught out.
Ooh.
With how well we saw Miracle and Ask pinch previously, you've got to expect that they're going to be able to do it again here. Nest just needs to play smart. I think the rotate up to the top floor might be the right idea. Daffo with a great kill there onto Miracle as he pushes on through. ROU projector, I don't think that's going to save you here, Ask. You've got 15 seconds, no diffuser, and you've got 2 engagements directly opposite one another. Daffo, doesn't take long for him to find that final kill. And hey, look, we're in overtime.
Has Miracle just repelled into the trophy window?
No, he hopped in, surely. Surely it was a hop in. It can't have been a repel.
I heard that he repelled in.
No, no.
Unless that was a visual glitch, but I heard the sound cue and we saw the repel on his screen and the swing.
Oh my God.
Attackers need to locate and
I mean,
defuse as many
would it have
bombs as
mattered
they can.
either way? Maybe.
No,
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
I don't necessarily think it would have, because like it's a very easy position to watch as a defender. It's just like, why?
Valid.
Like, why? Why give them the sound cue? Also, like,
For the story, so that we go to overtime.
for the story. All right, man. I don't know. I think there were other options too, but at the same time, they were really short on utility. They were short on time. I think maybe throw the ROU projector in front of like the stairs, and then maybe Miracle rotates over and they try to like 2v1 the dining guy and block off the angle to Solar. But there's a lot of time there for Black Dragons to work with. Unfortunate that it does not work out. And unfortunate for them, they're now on the attacking side, the one that they've struggled with so far throughout this series, which again, contradictory to their struggle so far inside of the SAL. It's been the defense has been the worst side. Liquid happy though. Liquid very happy with that.
It's just reset to 0-0 now, isn't it, as far as Liquid's concerned? Makwina maybe going to get spotted here by Maya. Taking some quick ground, but oh no, Maya's allowed to slip through. This could be disastrous for Rare. Nope, going to be disastrous for Maya. Gets cold feet and just gets caught out a little bit too far. That's one of those trademark Maya roams, by the way, on smoke. When it's good, you're like, oh great, and then when it's bad and that happens, you kind of go, really wish that was the Vigil doing that job instead.
Could be a classic OT switch up. Suddenly Black Dragon's attacks are excellent. Nade caught right in front of Rare's face. Because there is a bit of an important change. The shields have not been a factor on any of their attacks, and in OT it's brought out for what I believe is the first time out of those 6 rounds. Straight into the face of Nesk, who just threw that pre-fire. Catches Rare's, I think he either ADS's or the shield gets knocked away. Hornet good for the trade. Losing that Blackbeard, 17-9. I'm not saying it's worth Nesk and Maya, but that's certainly worth Nesk.
It's definitely worth Nesk, isn't it? But I wonder if it exasperates the problems of losing Maya earlier on. Liquid have now got a heck of a lot to do, and they've only got 3 guns to do it with. We do have a C4 on Daffo. There's potentially some yokais out there. We can see one inside a piano, one in library, so Lender still with both yokais. That could be good for something. Plants aren't something that Black Dragons are necessarily known for, but it might be enough if Lender can find the time and the space to stay on those yokais to gather information for the rest of his team. Well, Black Dragons, where they had a lot of time previously and came short, this time they've got less. 40 seconds and start to pressure in on piano, but there's some solid angles being held by Liquid right now.
Solid angles indeed. Daffo put to low HP. Miracle gets him on the cross, but while Diaz drops down and can find that Deimos, it's still an advantage for Black Dragons. With only 20 seconds, are these yokai still up? How much can Diaz accomplish on that long angle? Lenda's good for 1, not the second. It'll be a 1v2 for the Vigil, neither with Diffuser, by the way. And Machina on such low HP, they're waiting for him to peak. Machina will recover. And so can Diaz predict the IQ stuck in this position? No! Walks right in front! It takes so long for Black Dragons. They finally get around on the attack, but it comes at OT where one victory is insufficient.
Often happens inside of overtime. Teams have seen defensive setups throughout the course of the half that they usually have a pretty good idea of how to approach it. It isn't the most unusual thing for sides to switch when we get to the overtime in terms of advantage or just general trend of which way the majority of the rounds have been going. You could say that Black Dragons have done the hard part. Because for Liquid, it's been a while since they've attacked. They weren't too hot on it either. Successful at Master Office in round 1. Successful in Snowmobile round 3. We go to the site where they were not successful. Kitchen Dining. Where it did require a fairly hefty contribution from Rare to pull the round off. This was the first of Rare's 4Ks. And a miracle 3K required for round number 5 when we again saw Kitchen and Dining on Black Dragon's first time round at defending. That, of course, ended with the miracle 1 versus 2, so save huge individual performance. Liquid probably aren't feeling too bad about this being the site that they're going to, and I think they would have very easily been able to predict that based on the trend of the game so far. It just depends if lightning is going to strike again for Black Dragons and they are going to have that huge individual moment, because without it, as we mentioned, this game would likely have been done already.
Kind of glad it's not, though. We've had a very, very quick day, and I had a very, very quick day yesterday inside of the NAL, so I'm glad we get one OT game. Miracle shooting the drone, able to rotate across Ivy, back to the bulk of the setup on the top floor. As Liquid going to move slow on this full clear with the Monty up front. And then, of course, the office balcony door, the angle that Daffodil's holding to aid things. But it seems that unless Black Dragons decide to get in their face, likely B, I was going to say a little bit before we get anywhere, but what? Never mind. Barricade immediately breaks open, and Daffodil walking into the office, trying to find some kind of cutoff angle or aggressive line. But now the Monty's caught up. And we're kind of in the same position we were before, except now it's Solar and Piano and Office instead of outside and Master Bedroom and Office. Daffodil loses some HP, but it's Liquid with the first blow. Hornet looking to re-aggress is punished for his insolence. Lenda worried about walking across as the floorboards ripped open in front of him, but he rotates back as the rest of Black Dragons rotates down.
Not a bad situation that Liquid find themselves in here. They haven't got any more C4s to worry about, that much can be said. With Makuna falling, the advantage is greater now, 5 versus 3. And with the Monty, that feels like it just compounds even further. I'm not sure anybody knows about the player laid prone here inside of Trophy. We're now going to see Miracle retreat back to the site, maybe just trying to bait in that overextension from Lenda.
That's the recipe for success for Black Dragons right now. Lure that Monty in, separate the shield and the diffuser from the rest of the team. Take him down, and you should be good afterwards. Trying to challenge that Verd. Oh, it doesn't even work out even a little bit. What do you know? Now all of a sudden the attacks have come to play. Black Dragons win 1, but then Liquid win a flawless to push us to all 15.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That is kind of the motto of this game so far. I am thrilled that we have an overtime to finish the day. This is exactly what we need. And it just makes me smile that it's Liquid doing it as well.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying that like I'm not happy. I'm happy for you.
No, I know, because you know that I like that. You know I like them, and I like watching this team play. I like the emotions that it gives me. I just think it's just so satisfying, especially when you see like a really hard fought game like this. Regardless of the result, I'm buzzing. This has been a brilliant game of Siege.
And I think it's fair to
the
address
amount of crazy kills we've seen as well, by the way.
Yeah, no, I
like,
mean,
sorry to dive in, but that is like some of the stuff we've seen in this game alone tonight has just been next level.
And you got to give a lot of credit to, I know you've talked about it before very recently, but you just got to give a lot of credit to Rare for getting Black Dragons to this point because, well, Liquid have not looked perfect. That kill count is looking awfully lopsided on Black Dragons. Especially with Machina 5 and 13. We've mentioned the struggles he's had inside of the SAL so far, and that is only going to be compounded after today's game. I think at the moment he's 39 and 16 KD. He's also, I think, what? 2 and 4 on the entry so far this game. But a rough performance for, again, not the rookie anymore, but still the newest entry to, at least the youngest entry to this roster. They're back on the attack. And if overtime is anything to go off of, this is where Black Dragons or the attack generally have been more successful. Not in regulation, but here when the team's backs are against the wall. A slow start for BD as Liquid put forth a standard bar game shield with some mirror windows. And honestly, my concern, Ollie, I don't know if we have a lot of tools to deal with this lineup.
Yeah, it's just a lineup that you look at and it just, you don't often see it brought together, right? No hard breach is always like a little bit of an alarm bell. We've got 10 openers for Rare, which I guess is fine. Hornet just going to give himself some option of rotate, and he's very up for challenging the angle. We've not seen Nesk lose many of them today. Nesk's had a really good day, but he has just been burnt.
That's the Mez player too? Your Warden? You still got, I would say, the crux being the shield and the addition of this mirror window. But losing Mezzanine. These positions are going to feel a lot more pressure. But like I said before, we don't have any Ash to, I would say, break those mirror windows. The only explosives we have are the nades between Hornet and Ask. No Flores whatsoever to destroy that shield. Ask instead trying to find a lurk, but he just runs straight into Lenda on Fireplace Stairs. Breaks in through the garage. Mira finishes him off. Looks like we're going to be in for a hard-fought round 15 as a 4v4. 2 players assaulting this mirror window. Another hopping into Ivy. Black Dragons winning all the fights that they need. Maya good for 1, but it is Hornet coming alive at the tail end of this game. And now he's in a 1v2. Can pick Rare back up. Pick up that diffuser too. You want Rare, who has cooled off, who's had a very isolated performance. 12 kills in 3 rounds, but that leaves 5 spread out over the rest. But at least you both have him now. You've got his smoke bolt. You've got your nade. With only 12 seconds to go, Diaz has utility of his own. Lenda's got an explosive surprise ready the moment you hop in this window. But Hornet with 1 kill. Lenda might just have the time. No more for Rare! At the finish line, Liquid just get a toe across. And if you feel a tingle up your spine, that's faith being restored in Team Liquid.